All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna wait till some people get in here, and then we're gonna get started on what we're doing today, and I'll explain. Now, the market open is definitely late. It's late today. I'll explain why it's late. We're just gonna get some people in here, but we're still gonna spend some time analyzing everything that's going on with stonks, and then we'll go from there. Tess, you know me so well. Tess is like, look, this motherfucker just woke up. Okay, so here's what happened. Let me give you the quick TLDR, then we'll get into the market. I was in New York City yesterday from like 10 a.m. to about 8 p.m. and I walked for like 5-6 miles just walking throughout the city. And so I got home last night and I was dead tired. I still did finance junkies, but I was dead tired because I was walking all day. And so when I hit the bed last night, I knocked out. I just knocked out. I just could not wake up. Like, you guys know me. I don't miss a morning open. Like I wake up early, like pretty much every day. Also, I was up yesterday at 5 a.m. and I ran 6 miles in the morning. So couple running 6 miles in the morning from 5:30 to 7:30 yesterday, then being in New York City the whole day. I had a bunch of meetings. It was just in New York City the entire day, walking up and down, up and down. And then I hit the bed last night and I'm like, all right, I'll wake up by 9 for that. And I sleep at 1 o'clock because the podcast ended. Because I had another meeting when the podcast ended at 11:30 because when the podcast went longer. Then I had a meeting with my co-founder for my startup. And that went, he's in California. So that went till like 12:30. And then I knock out. And then I just can't wake up this morning. So yeah, that's the story. But nonetheless, I'm here. And so I wanted to still do the morning open and just be able to talk about what's going on in the markets. But that's the answer. I could not wake up last night. I could. Looks like you got a girlfriend and missed the market open. No, it's like, I honestly, like, my legs are still throbbing right now. And I'm like, I just could not wake up this morning. But I'm here. Amit, I've been watching your lives for months. Only one you missed because your mom. You missed this one, but still showed up. Yeah, I still wanted to go live because I woke up at 9:38 and I was like, oh, fuck. It's like one of those, but I wasn't even mad at myself because I was like, bro, I'm so tired. Like, I can't even, like, I couldn't do it. But nonetheless, we are still here. Thank you all for being here. We're still going to analyze what's going on in the market. So let me pull up the charts. We got a lot of news to get into. So even though it's not on time today, we still got stuff to touch. First of all, let's open up our big boy right here. We've got a company that is doing a little bit of things as the market opens. Palantir is $17.74. It was $18 in the pre-markets, okay? $18.04, $17.74, $17.88 right now. Look, this is very, very interesting. Why is the rally happening? I think it's for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the market's doing really well. Let's check on NVIDIA. I actually haven't checked them this morning. NVIDIA at 461. NVIDIA's down and Palantir's up. Would you look at that? Wow. NVIDIA is down and Palantir's up. S&P breaking 451. So the macro conditions are in place given where the S&P and the NASDAQ are, or NASDAQ 14.3, I think, 14.2. Okay, so NASDAQ down a little bit, S&P's up. Macro is ready for Palantir to go up. I think this is retail leading the rally. I think some of retail is getting excited. Now, yesterday, there was a couple of technical charts shown that some of the candles when Palantir mooned yesterday, those candles looked like institutional buying candles, given just like how they were constructed. It was one of these accounts that was kind of showing those pictures. That could be true. That could be false. But I think today it might be a little bit more retail. I think yesterday it could have been some institutional investors, to be honest. But obviously, we don't know until the 13Gs and 13Fs come out. So, Palantir getting ready for earnings. We have an official earnings date. It is August 7th after hours. And we will be here on this channel and we will see what we can get. I'm getting more and more bullish, and maybe this is my own naivete, that we can hit $20 after earnings. I'm getting a little bit more bullish that we actually get to hit $20, just given where I think the customer count can grow and how the market interprets that. But if we crap the bet on revenue, crap the bet on GAAP profitability, then it's just not gonna show up. So, I mean, we could easily go to 12, 13. We could easily go to 20, in my opinion. It's just a question to see kind of where it goes from there. Enovix is ramping up as well. Yes, that is correct. So Enovix now at $22.77. This is a $3.6 billion company. Look, I think Vitaly and Carlos, who introduced this company to you, would say it is massively overvalued right now. The run-up has been insane, but the run-up is the run-up. And so if you hold Enovix, you're making money on the stock. And, at the end of the day, this is one of those companies where it's getting people really, really excited. Even people I heard last night on Finance Junkies that are short the market, that tend to be short the market, are excited about this one. Would I FOMO buy into this one? No. If you want a DCA, sure, but you should do a lot of due diligence, because even I don't know that much about this company. Like, I don't even know how much batteries they sold last quarter. Like, there's a lot to get into. But I do think buying at this price, just like willy-nilly because it's going to go to 25, not the best idea. Could it be irrational? Sure, but obviously would not be the smartest thing to do. Truist, baby, $34. We are above 34. We have earnings on Truist on the 20th. There's no earnings that I could stream today. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, we're going to talk about their earnings and how that's impacted the market, because that's getting regionals up to a new level. Truist, if it can get closer to that $45 range, obviously is going to be very good. That's the mean reversion that it should come back to, even though the fair value of it is around $54, $55. And Truist has earnings tomorrow. So I think it's tomorrow after hours. So the 20th after hours. So that'll be Thursday. And we'll see what goes from there. Coinbase is up 3%. SoFi, $9.67, getting very, very nicely in an upward momentum before July 31st and before earnings on SoFi. So SoFi is getting ready to go. Meta at $309. We got Fubu at $3. Nikola up at $2.50. Microsoft is down a little bit. Google is down. So big tech is down a little bit today. Shopify at 66. Arc Innovation at $49. We talked about this one yesterday and kind of where we all think Arc is going. I think Arc, if we rotate from value to growth, Arc is going to have some fun. Now, Arc doesn't have a lot of if Arc had loaded the boat on Palantir at around like $6-7, I think this ETF would be like $52, $53. But they didn't. So we will see kind of what they're loading up on. Arc bought 4,608 shares of SoFi yesterday and another 63,000 shares of Robinhood yesterday. So they are getting ready to get a little bit more Robinhood and SoFi. Amazon now at $131. Oh, by the way, Arc bought 424,000 shares on Friday of SoFi. I forgot to mention that yesterday. So she has continued to be buying more SoFi. Enphase at now $190. SLG $32.93. Where's PayPal? I'm officially in PayPal. As of yesterday, I put $6,700 into PayPal at about $72. I bought some spreads for 2025. PayPal is now $74. So PayPal not doing too bad at all as well. January 20, 2025, $25 call spread for Palantir. I feel like it's expensive right now, right? It would be pretty expensive. Sachin, thank you for being here. TFC is pre-market. Okay, gotcha. I don't know. I feel like that's a little. I was just thinking of the $20 leaps or the $22 leaps, but that's probably gonna be more expensive. See, this is the thing I'm having with Palantir earnings, bro. Like I there's a part of me that really does think the market has all the momentum, and as long as Palantir does decent on the Q2 earnings, I don't see as like it's hard for me to believe in this market we're going back down to 11 because we have such a shitty earnings. Like I really don't see that. But on top of that, you can be humbled very easily with markets and numbers and things that don't go right. But I kind of think like the momentum's there and we push 20. And that's why I kind of want to like load up on some type of option to benefit from it. But obviously it being 2025, so that even if we tank, I have a year and a half to recover. Because I don't think the recovery would take that long either. I think if this dips to 11 or 12, I'm unloading a lot of positions to go back in and really substantially, because now we've seen what it can do, right? But do I think we get 11? I don't know, man. I really don't. And so, but I'm torn because it could absolutely happen given what we've seen from Palantir in the past. But we are on the upward momentum. Gap profitability, we come in line with our numbers. We beat a little bit on revenue, and all the news we've seen. They announced another partnership today that we'll get into in a little bit. This will be an extended market open because again, I did miss if you are coming in 9:30 to 10 o'clock. I missed the first 30 minutes, so I'll be here and we'll extend this for about an hour, and we'll just do a bunch of Q&A stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to kind of see how to play this earnings. This is one of those, I got to talk to Sachin about this and see kind of what he's doing and what he thinks about earnings as well, and some other people. But we'll see. Good, wonderful morning, Mick. Good morning, Rob. Thank you for being here. How was the lemon cake? Lemon cake was great. That was awesome. I had dinner. I was actually in New York City. I was telling you the chat with somebody yesterday. I was at a very fancy steakhouse, and so that's why I was walking up and down the stairs yesterday, or up and down New York City yesterday, and we had some lemon cake, which was very, very nice. January 2025 spread is $1.3, risking 1.3 for a gain of 5. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. That spread is a little expensive, right? That's what I think about the spreads. I'm like, the spreads are, if Palantir tanks, all the options that we're thinking about right now are incredibly expensive that we want to get before earnings. And it's like, I don't know, man. All the options we want to get, if it tanks, are going to be expensive. But nonetheless, you can always DCA into the options, right? So that's not the worst thing in the world. There's a part of me that's like, I think we pushed 20 after Q2. And I'm getting a little bit more bullish. And I hate to say it because then, if we tank on earnings, I don't know what causes us to tank. We're not going to miss on revenue. We're not going to miss on GAAP profitability. At the very least, we come right in expectations and the market is neutral, or they're like, oh, we expected more growth. You're going to go back to $12. The one thing that could cause it, if big tech craps the bed over the next 2 weeks, all of them, Meta, Amazon, then if our numbers, that's actually a really good argument I just came up with on the spot. I'm gonna give props to myself. If big tech craps the bed, then Palantir's numbers are under way more scrutiny, right? Like if Nvidia, Tesla, if all these guys, if Google, Microsoft, if they can't put up real numbers, or they put up numbers and the market still is not excited about them, then Palantir's scrutiny is much higher. And then if Palantir just comes in expectations, maybe the market doesn't like it, right? So maybe we wait to buy some options over the next week or two. Granted, maybe Palantir is like pushing 18 or 19. I have no idea. This is why sometimes it's just nice to hold on to your shares and just be along for the ride and see what happens. But this is going to be a really interesting one to play going into earnings. Okay, let's look at Bank of America. Obviously, their earnings were really good today as well. They're up 3%. Let me pull up Bank of America's numbers really quick. Thank you, everyone, for joining here today. The Dow is up for 7 days, gaining 200 points after better than expected earnings. Bank of America, they put up $25.3 billion revenue. They were expected 25.05, 88 cents a share versus 84 cents a share. So they beat on earning on revenue and on EPS. The bank said earnings rose 19% to $7.41 billion or 88 cents per share from $6.25 billion. Revenue climbed 11% to $25 billion, fueled by a 14% jump in net interest income. This is what Chris was talking about yesterday. Essentially, because interest rates are high, although it's bad for banks in some angles, they're making a crap ton of money off banks that have a shit ton of capital on the balance sheet, put into these treasuries or whatever is generating them interest. And then, Bank of America is printing $14 billion. Robinhood on August 2nd is going to probably print like $230 million in net interest income. That's it. And so as a result of that, these banks also tend to do well. And JP Morgan also did the same in terms of their ability to grow up 30%, 34% on their earnings. So, I mean, like, to me, the banks doing well is really good for the economy, because when the banks are doing good, that means they're able to give out loans. That means people are able to start businesses, buy a home. That means people are depositing their money in the banks. Granted, these are some of the bigger banks, but nonetheless, it signals that the health of the economy is not as bad as we would think. And here's the thing for all the bears, right? Why is the health of the economy in such a bad space that we're going back down to these catastrophic numbers, right? Like what is the catalyst there? It's hard. It's getting hard to kind of find what those numbers are. And if Q2 earnings are great, we're going to the fucking moon, bro. If Q2 earnings are good for most companies, and so far for the banks, it's going well. It's hard to imagine where this massive catalyst of a bear market is coming from. I think the only catalyst is earnings suck for big tech. Inflation's a little bit more stickier. I mean, there's a little bit of preliminary data that inflation could reaccelerate, but it's in such a small sector that I doubt it has this cascading effect that like we actually go up on inflation. So if inflation's coming down, earnings are going to be good. Ukraine, Russia's eventually going to stop. I know that's more geopolitical, but that's coming to an end. And we're getting into an election year. It's just like it seems like, and all these fund managers that missed out on massive gains in all these stocks, 100% here, 300% here, et cetera, start piling back in by September because they're getting ready for the Santa Claus rally, or they just want to show their clients some returns this year. You just got a lot more money coming into the markets. Revenue of $13 billion versus $13.46 versus $13.08 on Morgan Stanley, another very big bank. Earnings 1.24 a share versus, 9 cents a share they're beating on earnings. That is not a company, or that is not a financial ecosystem that is bad, especially as a big bank. That is amazing for Morgan Stanley. That's not bad. Now, profits declined 13% year over year from 1.8 or $1.20 per share on lower trading results. But revenue climbed 2% and EPS is up. Now, why is that the case? They had layoffs, which is why EPS went up. So they had less people to worry about in terms of cost per head. But Also, the market's forgiving to banks that are showing some revenue or profit decline because of what happened with Silicon Valley Bank and because last year was a little bit more different. Obviously, interest rates weren't at where they're at last year. So the market's like, okay, we understand some of your numbers may decline. We just don't want to see some dramatic, ridiculous decline like we were seeing in February and January with some of these companies, and we'll be okay. So same thing with Truist. Truist guided that their revenues would be down 3%, but the market is still bringing it up today because as long as they just operate like normal, these banks have been thrown out so badly over the past couple of months that operating through normal is going to be the only thing that really matters in order to get them back to their average mean. So we'll see what happens for banks there. Be cautious for next week though. FOMC coming. Yes, that is also true. And so it's tough to play earnings. That's the hard part. Now, here's the other thing. Banks are doing well. Banks, I think pretty much all the banks did pretty decently today. Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, the main ones. Goldman Sachs is tomorrow. Tesla and Netflix are going to determine a lot of things. I think they're both going to be fine, but Kathy is selling off Tesla. And to be honest, she tends to get this right when it comes to the sell-off. She could be wrong again. Tesla now at 287, but they sold at 291. I mean, they enter actually in a really strong way and they buy. Maybe they think earnings is not going to be the best, so the market's not going to receive it. Now, they were dead wrong on NVIDIA in terms of their sales. Dead wrong. And so Tesla could blast the 300 tomorrow and, just defy expectations. $912 billion now a share for this company in market cap. But if they're wrong and we see a Tesla decline and Netflix decline and a slight decline on some of the big tech ones, then we get into a little bit more downturn. But again, even if that's the case, what Tom Lee was saying is that because we're up 76% from the 2022 low to highs on a Fibonacci level, the S&P's 450 becomes a little bit more support versus a area that is just waiting to break through in terms of falling on the downside, which means the chances we get to 478, which is within 10% of our all-time highs, is a little bit more likelier than going down back to like 3,400 or 4,000 on the S&P. Palantir now at $17.65. Palantir again was at 1540 a week ago. I again 1540 to 1770, 1766. Is that really all retail? Or is that some bigger funds coming in and having a little fun? I have no idea, but the maintaining of 17 is also very interesting because if this is retail, that means retail's not selling it. That means we're all like, nope, we're not giving it a sell. And if that's the case, that is also really good for Palantir. SLG 33, that's amazing. Kathy seeing other generational opportunities like Roblox. Yeah, I agree. I just think that her sells in Tesla tend to be really well done in her market entries in Tesla. Jesse, thank you for the $20 super chat. Means a lot. Earnings season is starting off right. Let's go. Yeah. And so that's the exciting part about this market again, because Q3 earnings we know are going to tend to be decently good, right? We're like Q3 and Q4 always tends to be good. Q2 is that part of the year, and Q1, quite frankly, that tend to be a little choppy. You're coming off the brand new year. Q2, a lot of software deals can't really get done because the sales cycle are not that easy. If Q2 ends up being good, then it's not crazy to say that the market's headed into a better place. And like if you weren't investing in 2022 or early 2023, then your money is not compounding as much. And it's important to see if you can get some allocation to different portfolios. It's so interesting because I'm like, like when I bought Palantir at $20 in 2021, I was a much more younger admit, and I didn't understand even what a market cap was, right? Like it was bad. Like I was like, I didn't get it. I was like, oh, $20, that's cheap. But like things have changed, right? But like I wasn't alone. I was just naive and dumb buying at those valuations. There were legitimately institutions that are like, oh yeah, $40 billion for a company that should not have been valued at $40 billion, in my opinion, November 2021. No problem. Right. And they dumped billions into this stuff. And so we went through it. Remember, people were buying pictures of monkeys for $3 million. Like the idea that there was a ridiculous level of euphoria and sentiment and et cetera, like that was all piled in. I'm going to pull up the new Palantir press release as well. We'll go through that right now. In 2021, that is gone. Where is that? Where is that crazy, your mom is talking about Bitcoin type of stuff? Like, I just don't see that. And maybe it'll be back in the next couple months, but I think it'll be a little bit more structured the way it'll come back. The VC markets, the private markets, right? In terms of how companies are getting funded as well. Like you could get a $30 million valuation for an idea. And I know this because I was meeting a lot of VCs back in 2021, like for stupid ideas that had no products, nothing. Like you didn't even build a prototype. That type of liquidity is gone from the system. And the point is, from a macro perspective, if that liquidity is gone, obviously interest rates are not zero anymore. The ability for a pump to happen that is artificial, it could happen in individual stocks like Carvana, but for the overall market, Facebook at $300 right now, it was at like 380 when it collapsed, but let's just say it was at 300 when it collapsed. It had 30,000 more employees. It had way more operating expenses. It has a ton of less revenue. Like the business has so fundamentally changed since then. And now its valuation, you could argue, is much more deserving. Maybe not 300, maybe it's at 270, but it's definitely not at 88. And so this massive market downturn that I think some of the bears are calling for, it's just really hard for me to see where is that coming from and how will that how will that manifest itself. Dude, nobody knows if the stock price will go down or up, so how can you call yourself dumb for buying at 20? Well, to me, it's not really about the price. It's about the valuation, right? You were paying about $40 billion a share for Palantir in November 2021. The company was barely doing $1.5 billion in revenue. Now, they were growing 41%, yes, but they were massively unprofitable. SBC was like 60% of revenue. Like these basic things, stock-based compensation as a percentage of revenue, are you profitable or not, right? Like very basic things I had no idea about. And so that I think I have changed a lot since then. Now I think if Palantir gets to 20, it's not the most overvalued company in the world. Whereas November 2021 it was, right? So from that perspective, hopefully I learned a little bit more on valuations. All right, here's the press release. I'll do a little video on this today separately, but Bloodhound Enterprise from Spectre Ops available to government agencies through Palantir fedstart offering. I have no idea what the fuck Bloodhound is. We're going to get into it. But before we get into the press release, it says through Palantir's fedstart offering. Remember, Palantir's fedstart offering is their newest product on basically taking IL-6 security clearance, like, the top of the line level of security they have for the government, and trying to like license that to startups to an extent. And so this is one of the first deals they're announcing in a new product offering that they came up with. So I'm actually very interested to see what the heck they're announcing here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so through this partnership, Palantir fedstart, a SaaS offering that helps accelerate federal go-to-market by enabling companies to run their products within Palantir's secure and accredited environment, which is what I just said, what I just talked about, will facilitate Spectre Ops to deliver its enterprise-grade defense solution to governmental agencies. By leveraging Palantir's experience working with the government and expertise managing secure cloud software, fedstart supports companies to be FedRAMP and IL5 compliant very quickly and can enable accreditation in weeks. Okay, Spectre Ops Bloodhound Enterprise is an attack path management security solution. Okay, so this is security software for Microsoft Active Directory and Azure. So this is security software built on top of Azure cloud computing. And so the governmental agencies using Microsoft Azure would be benefiting from this type of what it seems like cybersecurity software. Designed to help organizations proactively and continuously identify, manage, and remediate millions of AD attack paths, BHE gives IT ops and spec ops professionals the tools needed to dramatically and measurably improve their AD security posture with minimal effort. CISA has recommended the use of Bloodhound, an open source tool from Spectre Ops related to Bloodhound Enterprise. Bloodhound Enterprise with FedRAMP allows quicker adoption for those agencies seeking to secure their AD or Azure AD environments. The average government agency will have tens of thousands of AD attack paths, making them an attacker's easiest, most reliable, most effective method to deploy malware or carry out cyber espionage without being detected. So it's a cybersecurity play with the ability to partner with Palantir in order to actually sell into the government, because you can't sell into the government if you don't have a certain level of accreditation. Akash Jain, president of Palantir USG, says, "We created Palantir fedstart with the goal of enabling companies to reduce friction and deliver solutions to the government at the speed of innovation. Spectre Ops Bloodhound Enterprise is one of those companies at the cutting edge of attack path management whose solutions should be in the hands of the government without delay. We look forward to helping them achieve accreditation and deploying their leading edge in defense critical government systems." Wow. This is pretty interesting. And look, they announced they raised a $33.5 million funding round. This is in line with the thesis that $17 billion is being deployed in the private markets to defense technology companies. This is obviously a defense technology contractor that is in the early stages of its fundings. And as a result of that, they need a company like Palantir. And by the way, they just got $33 million, so they have the money to spend on Palantir to be able to generate more cash flow. See, this is why it's weird to like try to analyze Palantir's earnings, because now they've got another new stream of products that they're licensing. Let's say they even make $1 million off that deal. That's $1 million they didn't have before because they came up with a brand new product because they have 20 years of experience. So they were able to get IL6 accreditation, and they're only one of three companies in the world that has that, in order to even offer this type of service to other companies. And so that's another revenue stream for Palantir. That's another way Palantir potentially is able to make money. Not bad. I'll go deeper into that in another video today, but that's a really, really interesting press release. And imagine that product scales a bit more over the next year. That is revenue we didn't even think that we were going to be able to get, right? Because that's not Foundry, that's not Gotham. That's like them using their security and their accreditation they worked years to be able to achieve, and just giving that to other companies because there's so much liquidity in the defense tech space, because there's demand for these defense technology kind of cybersecurity type of startups. Very, very interesting stuff. Really, really, really unique. Q2 earnings are going to smash. Hopefully, we'll see. Mitch has put himself on a minimum 1.5 speed. Yeah, I don't want to waste too much time just reading it. Same with the mid 2021 until now was a great time, forcing you to learn about the market. Yeah, when you're down thousands of bucks, I mean, you gotta learn about the market. I didn't even, let's see this thing right here. You gotta learn. Yes, see, my portfolio is up today. Why is my portfolio up today? Okay, PayPal calls are up. Oh, wow. Yeah, TFC spreads are up. Sofi calls. Where's Sofi right now? We got to. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's why I'm up. Because I thought it was a little red today in some areas. But Sofi, where's Sofi? Sofi, Palantir 1760. Wow, Sofi 970. Okay, so Sofi blasting through that $9.60-ish level, now at $9.70. Let's talk a little bit about Sofi. I think on this one, I'm a little bit more confident saying I think earnings are going to go great. Palantir, I'm still a little bit here and there. I think earnings July 31st are going to be great. I think the market's ready to take this to a new leg up. I think that they're going to beat on member growth. They're going to beat on customer acquisition. They're going to beat on deposits. Galileo, I think, will maybe show reacceleration of growth. If it does decline a little bit, I don't think the decline is going to be massive at all. And I think the market's ready to kind of accept what's going on with Galileo because it just needs time to be able to scale. Anthony Noto, again, in May, was talking about new institutions using Galileo. So if they surprise on the upside on Galileo, I think that'll be fine. Revenue is going to be in line. The big thing that blasts this thing to like new all-time highs is GAAP profitability. I don't think we're getting GAAP profitability. If they somehow surprise us with GAAP profitability, July 31st is going to be a fun day for Sofi here, shareholders. But I don't think they're doing that. I think instead of being 5 cents away from GAAP profitability, they'll be like 2 cents away. And then Q3, they'll get into GAAP profit levels. Sofi, I think, is actually going to do very well. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think July 31st, they're going to do really well. Everything's set up for them to. Remember, Sofi beat on 3 metrics last time, and the market tanked them back to 4%. Sorry, $4, $5. Like I saw it go from 620 down to like $5, 490 that morning. Because the market was just being like, we didn't have the bull run starting in May. We didn't have the best inflation data. The market was just being dumb. They're like, you know what? Forget this bank. And I think, honestly, it was being manipulated as well because just like we got the Morgan Stanley downgrade to 875 last week, that dip was bought instantaneously. So, Truist has it at $11. A bunch of these other banks have it at $14, $12 fair valuation. I think the banks that manipulated it just wanted their shares, and they probably loaded up a lot, and now they're ready to let it go up. Ultimately, they're ready to go up. Okay, let's ask this question in the chat because Josh brings it up. So first of all, thank you 388 people for being here. I'm going to be here live for the next 30 minutes because I missed the first 30 minutes of the market open because I was tired, honestly. I hate to admit it. I have missed one market open in the past like 8 months, and today was my second one because I was just so damn tired, bro. And it was an exceptional tired because even I'll be tired. It's not like I'm not tired on many different weeks or months, but I still managed to get up before the market opened. Today was one of those days I could not manage to get up before the market opened because I was that tired. So it was a really, really tired. Like emotionally, physically, yesterday was just a very long day for me. So I just couldn't get up early enough. Okay, so here's the question. I was saying this on Finance Junkies last night. So before Sofi mooned, I bought a lot of calls for myself, a lot of spreads for myself. And I told my sister, I was like, yo, give me some money. Let me invest for you. I was like, just give me some I was like, yo, just trust me on this one. This is one of those things where you will make a lot of money in the next year. And her strike price is 12. So like, she's like really, Sofi just has to be 12 by January 2025 and she's going to do well. And I was like, just give me some money. And she went to Bank of America in a week and she deposited 12 grand into my bank. And I invested it all into SoFi options at, if not the lowest prices, like very low prices. And she's up a lot of money on it. Should I sell her initial $12,000 worth of calls, give her back the money, and let house money be the rest of her gains for the next year and a half? Or should I keep the 12 grand into the options, and because obviously she'll make more money if she doesn't sell it right now because she got them very cheap on SoFi, and let it play out? What do you guys think? On Finance Junkies, everyone said give back the original 12K to my sister so that the options kind of let them play themselves out, and now she's playing with house money. But I'm curious to see what you guys. Oh, I should do a poll. Sorry. I should do a poll. I'll do a poll. The only hesitation I have is, bro, we got these options really fucking, and I'm kind of just like, even selling the 12K worth of, I'm like, if I just let it stay there, she's gonna make a lot more money. But I want to know what you guys think. House money or no? House money, let all of it ride. All right, let's see what you guys think. We talked about this on Finance. Double down. Double down. Like, no, leave it all there. Some of you think leave it all there. I'd sell a little before earnings. Yeah, but bro, how much tax will she paying out? That's the other thing, bro. If I sell 12,000 worth of it, there's gonna be fucking tax. That's why I'm also kind of just like, it's annoying. But granted, it's obviously still a good thing to do, just so that she never has to worry about losing it. Jesse says, thank you for the $10 super chat, Jesse. Give back the original. Okay, so if Jeremy was on Finance Junkies last night, he said give back the original. What is the poll? House money 62%, let it all ride 39%. Okay, so most of you are saying give back the money. Give back the money. Give back the initial 12K, let it ride. Amit, is that legal? You don't need to be an IRA to manage someone else's money. Bro, I don't fucking know if it's legal. I don't really care. Like, at the end of the day, she's family. Worst case scenario, if I can't give her the money, I'll just have it in one of my bank accounts, and then she'll be able to, let's say she wants to buy a house or something. She wants to put down 40,000 down payment. She'll just use one of my bank accounts, right? Like, the point is, the only reason I didn't do it on her account is because she doesn't have level 3 trading options on Robinhood. Like, as much as I love Robinhood, they're so secretive and protective with giving out level 3 options. So she couldn't do spreads. And so I had to like get her money. Otherwise I would have just done it on her phone. So regardless, she's going to get the money. It just might be through different means of how she gets the money, but she will get the money. Yeah, don't be snitching, bro. We can't have the IRS watching right now. Granted, there's nothing. I'm going to pay taxes on it regardless. Like, it's not like you can't hide paying taxes. If I sell, I sell. I have to. It's just going to be on my money versus her money. So, but I will use the gains from her money to pay the taxes, obviously, right? When did you become a pro options trader? Yo, we need to stop this narrative, bro, because Vitaly had that tweet yesterday, and too many of you like that tweet, okay? I am not a pro options trader. I have seen asymmetrical opportunities in the market to do some options, and I think Jesse will relate with this. Jesse, by the way, if you're not following on Twitter, Jesse Dow1 on Twitter, absolutely amazing guy. He's up like 800,000 on the year. And this is one of the first years, I think in a couple of years, where he's actually bought options, because there are certain years where assets are so undervalued that for them to just recover back to their mean price leads to a 3, 4, 5, 6x gain on the option if you get in at the bottoms, or at least close to the bottoms. That is why I am interested in options. I'm not going to be interested in options when, it's 2025 and like a lot of positions are up and I'm like, oh, let's dump in more into, like, no, we're into options right now. Because some of these stocks like PayPal, like SoFi, like Robinhood, like TFC are so undervalued that the option is disproportionately more asymmetrical of risk. And that's what I've been introduced to. As a result of that, getting into these positions early in 2023, hopefully does really well over the next couple of years. But it's not like every stock I'm thinking of, I'm like, oh, what's the option on this? It's like, no, like, is there a long-term bull case? Like Enphase. I don't want to do options on Enphase. I want to own Enphase for the long term. Same thing with Palantir, obviously. So I'm not an options trader, bro, and I don't want to be branded like that because I don't understand. I'm learning a lot more about it. I would definitely say I'm much smarter than I was even a month ago, but I'm not at the point where I can just like ultimately do it. Why is Hood strict on level 3 options trading? Because level 3 options is more risky. You can do more interesting stuff. So as a result of it, if it's more risky, then you can't just like, they don't want to give it out to anybody, basically. Wow. Sorry, guys. Not 800K, 2.4 million. Goodness gracious. This guy is a case study to be looked at. He came out of nowhere on social media and just started fucking calling every stock in the market and being up hundreds of thousands of them. I have a lot of respect for Jesse, man. And he's doing it in such a transparent way. Like he's hiding nothing from his audience, which I love, right? Whether it's up or down, he just keeps going up. He's getting these shits right. So, but again, this is his first year or one of the main years that he's done options. And because this is the year to do it. Like, would I buy options on a company that's up 500? Like, should you buy options on Microsoft right now? Or sorry, Facebook right now? No, in my opinion, Meta's up 300% since 7 months ago. So when the underlying asset is up that much, the option, now you have to hope the underlying asset goes up even more. And options are only really good when the thing could double in terms of the stock itself, because then the options really do well. So, I wouldn't buy options on Meta. If I like Meta, I would actually just buy Meta to buy Meta. And so, yeah, I think there are certain moments where you take risks. And I've been lucky enough to be with Chris, who's been guiding me through this. By the way, Chris, he's not exclusive to me anymore. He has a Patreon. So if you guys want to join his Patreon, he's actually giving detailed, and I was reading his Patreon post last night. I was like, oh, this sounds like our text messages, Chris. This sounds like somebody that I used to know. I'm just kidding. But so I would recommend joining his Patreon. He's giving out a lot of good advice there. But I'm lucky to have someone like that help me. All right, what are the results of the poll? 65% house money, 35% let it ride. All right. I got to see what I'll do. Okay. Hey, did the market open at 10:30 a.m.? No, Blake, but I overslept, unfortunately. So that's what happened. Tesla 287, SoFi 960, Palantir 17. Okay, so Palantir's retracing a little bit, 1751. PayPal $73, Nvidia 459, Nasdaq 14,002. Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin's down from 30K. Why is Bitcoin down? Anybody know? What happened to Bitcoin? Why is it at 29? Robinhood at 1255. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Robinhood. So going into earnings August 2nd, let me actually show you the tweet that I put up yesterday. And by the way, if you're not following on Twitter, Twitter is in the description. If you don't have a Twitter, make a Twitter account. There's a huge finance community. You'll get a lot of knowledge. So you should definitely check out the Twitter sphere. If I'm your first follow, let me know. Tweet at me. Hey, you're my first follow. I'll be happy to welcome you into Twitter. Oh, we got to talk about Threads, by the way. We got to talk about we got to talk about Threads as well. We got to talk about Verizon and AT&T. We have so much to talk about. Okay, so let's go to fucking, what were we going to go to? What was I going to show you guys? Oh, yeah, my Robinhood take. Okay, so here we go. Robinhood is $12.82. So the major concern I have going into earnings is declining MAU. How do I know it's declining? Because Robinhood puts out monthly data on their website, if you actually go to it, versus just the quarterly data. The May data shows the MAU down from 11.8 million to 10.6 million, which is quite a precipitous decline, okay? June may make up for it. They're not going to show June because that's going to come out in the next quarter, but we could have user decline in Q2. Now, Robinhood went from number 33 to like number 18 on the finance iOS investing charts. So I kind of think that the June numbers will make up for it, but do we show enough to break 11.8? I don't know. And I'm kind of skeptical about that. However, what matters more is assets under custody, which is how much money is actually being deposited into those accounts. Right now, they're like 78 billion, which is up like 16% year over year sequentially, which is going very well. And ARPU, which is not to be confused with APU from The Simpsons, but ARPU. ARPU is average revenue per user. They went from $66 to $77, which is like a 13% quarter over quarter gain, which is really nice. And I think the ARPU, given the June and May trading when we had that really big bull run, is going to go up. And that's what the market cares about, which means that if more users are engaged on the app, meaning more trading and more power users, not just more users in general, AUC and ARPU should trend higher. Net interest income is going to be phenomenal. They blasted through net interest income. I think they did like $211 million last quarter. So half of their revenue was just net interest income. That's going to stay the same because interest rates have not gone down. And then if they show a GAAP profit, Robinhood earnings August 2nd could be really interesting, even if user decline is bad. So user decline is the one that makes me the most worried, but I don't think it matters as much because if the market sees in those high frequency trading algorithms, ARPU's up, GAAP profitability potentially, or really close to GAAP profitability, assets under custody is up, and then maybe a couple of other metrics here and there about Robinhood, like the cash lending program, all this stuff, and management does a decent guidance, then we might see some decent momentum on Robinhood. But again, it all depends if we can hit those metrics. If we don't hit those metrics, then it's not going to be there. And so we have to see that. Assets under custody is not more relevant. You could have less transaction and less users with more capital. That's true. But if Robinhood makes, I mean, that's true. Obviously, that's correct. I guess my think is that if there is more money being put into the platform and more trading being done, which leads to assets under custody being higher, then hopefully it could go well. But that is correct. You could have AUC higher with less users and less trading. So the others would have to like at least more trading, even if you have less number of users, more active trading and more, and that being a positive correlation with AUC, that could hopefully be a positive momentum for Robinhood. So we'll see. We'll see. They don't make money only having one large person on the platform. That is correct. They do make money having a lot of assets under custody because they're kind of like a bank. They can do a lot of stuff with that money. But agreed, it's got to be coupled with a little bit more trading as well. American banks are going to do well. Yep, we're seeing that already right now. Ask my sister what to do. My sister would want to let the money ride, bro. I think my sister would be. Well, honestly, my sister is going to do whatever I want her to do because she doesn't care. Bro, my sister at one point on this 12,000, she was up 18 grand. Okay. I texted her a picture. I say Didi in Hindi because we call her big sister Didi. I was like, Didi, here's your money. Here's how it's doing. And she looks at it and she just gives a thumbs up. And I'm like, can I get a thank you? Like I just took 12 grand and I turned it into 18 grand and like, it's not 18 grand anymore, but I was like, I turned it like in 5 days. Like when I mean, I bought right before it took off. So every day I kept texting her a new screenshot. I was like, hey, your money. It's like, and she's like, oh, yeah. And then I try to tell her about, what Anthony Noto said. And she's like, who's Anthony Noto? And I'm like, bro, he's the guy, the CEO of the company. And she's like, oh, that's okay. Like, bro, she doesn't give a fuck, bro. And she's like the average American. She does not care at all. And so, as a result of that, she'll do whatever I want her to do. So ultimately, I'll have to decide for her. Okay, here's the other thing about Threads. This was very interesting. Okay, this was very interesting. Elon Musk instituted rate limits on Twitter, which is basically if you're scrolling through Twitter, you can only see a certain number of tweets to stop massive scraping from bots on the platform to fuel whatever AI algorithms or shit that they're trying to do. This is what the head of Instagram Threads says yesterday on Threads. Spam attacks have picked up, so we're going to have to get tighter on things like rate limits, which is going to mean more unintentionally limiting active people or false positives. If you get caught up on those protections, let me know. One of the reasons to leave Twitter and go to Threads was because of rate limits. And by the way, people thought Elon's doing rate limits because they can't pay the bills. Elon specifically said, I'm doing rate limits because we have thousands of bots scraping tweets and we need to institute a limit so that, a normal person is not scrolling through 10,000 tweets. A bot is scrolling through 10,000 tweets. That's why I'm doing rate limits. And the media was like, Twitter's failing. Twitter's this, Twitter's that. They can't keep the lights on. But like, I kind of believed Elon when he's like, no, this is an actual issue. And like, I'm not going to try to convince you that it's an issue, but it's an issue. The head of Instagram Threads says it's an exact same thing in terms of it's an issue. And so the problem to leave Twitter for the rate limits to go to Threads literally is being replicated on Threads to me. And so it's not that exciting given what we're seeing happen here on Threads. Also, I deleted Threads from my phone. I can't use it anymore. Not interesting. It's just I can't do it anymore. So I got out of Threads. I'm just like, look, I can't. There's nothing valuable for me to do on this app. And ultimately, there was a journalist who got censored the other day who was so happy to go on Threads, and when she got censored, she kind of like was like, WTF? And it's like, yeah, that's kind of what's happening on Threads. Kathy Wood buying 37,000 shares of Robinhood. She bought a little bit more Meta yesterday as well. She's buying Trade Desk, sold Tesla, sold Coinbase. Coinbase still a top 2 position in her portfolio. She bought Twilio. You know how you guys sign up for a new app and it says like message authentication code and then you get a random code that pops up? That is all Twilio. And they do trillions of those like every single year. So Twilio is a decent position for her as well. She hasn't bought Twilio in a while, but now she's buying Twilio, 25,000 shares of Robinhood, and then 4,000 shares of Sofi as well. So Kathy is back into some of those stonks. Did it delete Instagram when you also deleted Threads? No. So my Threads is not deleted. It's deactivated, I guess. So that's why. But it didn't delete Instagram. What did she get censored for? She posted a Hunter Biden story. And I can't make this up. Facebook was like, yeah, no. Yo, as bad as Twitter is, okay, yesterday I saw Chris shared a video of a Ukrainian soldier dropping a bomb, a literal bomb on a Russian soldier in the field. Like the dude dropped a bomb on the Russian soldier. That was not censored by Twitter. Now, you can say what you want to say about like moderation and stuff, but if Twitter's going to such lengths to let content like that stay on the platform, I'm not saying I want to see it. I'm just saying they're actually taking this free speech thing seriously by allowing the content to show on the platform. And you could argue maybe they shouldn't, but it's the principle of just like, all right, I don't want to see this. I'm going to block this account, blah, blah. At least I have more autonomy and like, I don't want to see this stuff. And the algorithm should get smart enough to know I don't want to see it. But the fact that they're letting things be on the platform is just, to me, it is really embodying free speech at the end of the day. And that's important for what's going on. Can you put Jesse's info in the description? Yeah, let me put it in the chat right now. Here is his Twitter. It's in the chat right here. Elon censoring free speech for Turkey and India, though? Yes, but again, that's because if he doesn't, Turkey and India will just delete Twitter off the off the country, right? They'll just get rid of Twitter. So I'm sympathetic there because if you're dealing with a government, Palantir now 1770, and the government's like, hey, if you don't censor this post, we will get rid of Twitter to like 40 million people. On a cost benefit analysis, weighing scale, it's like, okay, this is bad for censorship, but if 40 million people lose access to the one free speech means of communications they have, then that's worse. And so I'm very sympathetic when you're dealing with totalitarian regimes. India's not totalitarian, but you know what I mean. They get totalitarian when it comes to free speech. To have to, acquiesce to the government to some extent. I understand why they would have to do that. Okay, cool. What else do we not talk about today? Enovix, wow, $23. Goodness gracious. This market, this market, TFC at 34. Oh my goodness, bro. Meta's trending upwards now. Who has Enovix? Put it in the chat. Do you have Enovix? Do you have Enovix at all? Wow. Wow. PayPal calls are up as well. I'm up 6% on the PayPal calls from yesterday. So PayPal calls are doing nicely. Yeah, yesterday I loaded them both. I was like, I only got 8 of them, but I was like, whatever cash I had, about 6,700. I was like, you know what? Let's dump it into PayPal. Link Chris's Patreon. Let me do that real quick. And when you join, be like, hey, Amit sent me. Let him know. Here it is. I think that should be it. How many does he have? Does this thing say right in here? How many Patreons does he have? Usually it says how many Patreons you have. How many Patreons does this guy have? He had 22 on Sunday. I think his Patreon should have like 1,000 people, bro. He does so much research, so much work. Like he absolutely deserves to have that many of them. Actually, let me log out and see if it still shows up. How do I log out? Okay, here we go. One sec, camera died. Let me pull it up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I don't know if it shows how many members he has. Yeah, I don't know if it shows how many members he has, but he deserves a bunch of members. He deserves a bunch of members. Oh, 85. Wow, 85 people. That is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Chris. 85 members. That's great. Paying what, $10 a month? $5 a month? I joined. I paid $10 a month. So that's great. That's going to be close to like $500-$600 a month for Chris. And he deserves it, man. He does. I can't tell you the amount of research this guy does and he sends to us for free, like in our WhatsApp. And now you guys will get it. Like, it's a lot, bro. He does a lot of fucking. He doesn't buy a company without actually understanding what the fuck that company is doing. He does not buy it. Like, that's the one reason I know I can trust him. Like, when he says, I like this company and I'm buying, it's because he spent maybe a week aggressively not talking to his wife and just trying to understand that company. And so he's the one guy in the world I can trust when it says, and that doesn't mean the pick is going to be right. That just means I am comfortable because I know you are not going to lose your money without doing your research. And by the way, he'll tell you as soon as he sells. He'll be like, I'm out of it, right? If he makes 10, 30%, he's like, look, that's enough. I see some issues in the market, blah, blah, I'm out. And so that's why I always respect the just like brutal honesty and due diligence Chris ends up doing. So yeah, definitely check out his Patreon. Link is in the description. Robinhood at $12.67. S&P at 452. Netflix 455. Enphase, I'm not in Enphase because I had to offload it for my options, but Enphase now at 187. It was at 159 the other week. Look, Enphase is going to do well. If their Q3 guidance is going to be great, we'll be live streaming Enphase earnings next week. Enphase should do totally fine. And, we just have to see how their earnings goes in terms of guidance. We'll also be live streaming Tesla on the Finance Junkies channel. We can't monetize that channel, by the way, until September. Like, we have all the requirements to like officially monetize the channel, but because Chris and Carlos decided to live stream the Apple Vision Pro event, we got a copyright strike for like 90 days. And so Apple's stopping us from making money on that channel. So in September, we'll do a lot more on that channel. Snowflake at 186, SLG at 33, up 6%. Look at that, man. Oh, REIT that pays you a 13% dividend that's undervalued by 50% is up 6% on the day. Absolutely phenomenal. Amazing. Not bad. Not bad at all. And then we got Palantir at 70.70. Let's see, man. 18 in the pre-markets. Let's see maybe if we can get back to that level, but we're at 17 for the day and we'll see it from there. Did Chris buy back into Palantir? No, he did not. He did not buy back into Palantir. So he's still bearish on Palantir, man. I mean, like we were talking about it last night. He's just like, he doesn't think the valuation's there yet. And look, this is one of those things where I think he's right on valuation, but I think he could be wrong just because he missed the AI rally on Palantir. And like, he acknowledges like, yeah, the market, like they love AI. So he said like, look, I could be wrong. I could not get my $9, $10 price target because the market just keeps giving them the premium. And if that case, Chris is going to be out of it. At that point, he'll have to sell cash secured puts and try to get himself back into the position. But there's so many opportunities out there. I don't think he's worried about chasing Palantir, especially because he doesn't think Q2 numbers are going to be great, which I agree with. But I also have a little bit of optimism that the numbers are going to be decent enough and the market rally and sentiment is there enough where like it could be one of those things. I think we're so jaded as Palantir shareholders, but we have to remember like some of these generational companies, they tend to make these generational moves because like they do their thing. Now, does that happen Q2? I don't know. I have no idea. But we can't be that scared of it because when it happens, you know? And so we'll see. We'll see. He's talking about Palantir valuation. What about, well, he thinks Enovix is overvalued as well. So he thinks that's the case. Had an entire year to buy $6, $7, $8. Now, granted, all of us did. All of us had an entire year to buy at $6, $7, and $8, and we didn't as much. So, unfortunately, that time is over. He definitely doesn't think we're getting back to those prices. It's one of those, man, that I think like he really feels this valuation point. I don't know if valuation matters that much in this context about Palantir. I think enough numbers is enough because I look at Snowflake. I'm like, does Snowflake deserve to be trading at 25 times price of sales? Is Snowflake that much more of a better company than Palantir? No. Okay. So if you're giving Palantir 15 times price of sales, it's a little bit higher, which is why Q2 numbers need to be good, but their comparables are way higher. And so, yeah, the growth is higher, but the profitability is not that much higher on Snowflake. The stock-based compensation is higher on Snowflake, right? So it's like, it's these different things that we have to think kind of where's it going from here. He also bought Enovix at $10. Remember, he bought Enovix really cheap. So that's why he's there. My cost basis is $4.81 for Palantir. What? Imnop. How the heck? You must have been. How did you get 481, bro? Is that a typo? Like, or did you like? How did you get 481? That's. I'm assuming you sold cash secured puts and massively reduced the premium at the $6, $7 price range, because that's the only way I think you can get to that premium or that cost basis. Probably sold some puts, yeah. Enovix price of sales is upwards of 500. See that, but again, this is my thing. The market can be kind of insane for some of these stocks, and so that's why I think Chris. He's also thinking of selling it at 20, 25. Him and Vitaly are getting ready to offload the position at that time. So, but it is a pretty crazy cost basis. T and Verizon. Okay, so yeah, so AT&T and Verizon. Let's check where they. So I got a call from a guy yesterday that I respect, and I was in New York City. I was walking, which is why I couldn't wake up this morning because I was doing so much walking. And he told me, "Oh wow, Palantir 1783. Okay, 1784. Not bad. Okay, we'll go back to that in a little bit." Verizon has a 8% dividend yield. Verizon is trading at the lowest level it's been trading since 2011. Last time it was at this price, actually no, 2017. 2017 it was at this price. But if you go back, 2011-ish was more, yeah. Wait, no, what is this? Was I looking at the? No, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so it's not a 2011 price. Sorry, I read that wrong. It was 2017. So the lowest it's been in about 6 years. Okay, that's obviously for a company like this that has a massive dividend, it's not supposed to be down this dramatically. Their balance sheet is phenomenal. The dividend is great, and so he was telling me on the phone. He's like, "Bro, I'm thinking of heavy going into Verizon." The only problem here is yeah, the EPA stuff, the lead cables. That's why Verizon was down yesterday, because the lead cables, kind of the EPA says they have to fix all these cables that are filled with lead, and it deals with customer all this. Like, it honestly, it's a stupid. I think it's going to be. I don't think it's that big of a deal as much as people say. The harder part about investing in Verizon is there's so many growth opportunities out there that do you want your money stuck in Verizon, right? This is the question. Now, could Verizon get back to like its fair value of the $45-ish range, $48 range? Maybe. But if there's money transitioning from value to growth, it's hard to justify Verizon as like a big winner. I think the news yesterday was substantial. Is it enough to knock it down 10%? No, which is why I think disproportionately it's undervalued massively. But it's undervalued for the dividend. I don't know if it's undervalued for capital appreciation. And if there's so many stocks that are giving you potential capital appreciation, it's just harder to imagine Verizon being like a good buy. So yeah, Verizon's definitely in an interesting situation. I'm not buying Verizon, to be honest, but I could see as a dividend yield, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Music Major, thank you for the $5 super chat. Buying calls at $4 strike and then exercising them. Cost basis doesn't consider the premium you paid. That's how you get a $4.80 cost basis. That makes sense. Yeah, that also makes sense. That is one way you can do it. Also, if you're selling cash secured puts as well, back when it was $6-7. So both are those ways you can get there. I'm at 474. Wow, you guys have amazing averages. Holy crap, that's amazing. Like, that's absolutely phenomenal. The Music Major, by the way, what did you actually major in music in college? I'm curious to know. Imnop says, yes, I got Sofi and Palantir mixed up. Cost basis for each of them are 481 and 762 respectively, so I still can't lose. Okay, so Palantir cost basis is 760. Sofi one is still phenomenal. I mean, you literally got Sofi at the bottom. That is absolutely insane. So not bad on that. And Palantir 762 is also just incredible. I mean, those are amazing averages. AT&T also down like more than it's been in the past like 5-6 years at $13.79. Again, the dividend is great on it, but are you really investing in AT&T and Verizon when there's all these other opportunities? In 2022, if it was at this level, these would be screaming buys, but they weren't, because we transitioned from growth to value. We're seeing a little bit of that transition out of the value stocks. And so it's hard to like justify having capital tied up here. Like Vitaly, I think, liquidated a crap ton of his AT&T to buy Enphase, because like, why do you have money stuck in AT&T collecting a dividend when Enphase is growing 50-60% year over year? Palantir now at 1774. Look, the fact that 17 was massive resistance for Palantir just 3 weeks ago, and now it seems like, I don't know if we're consolidating here, but we're, it's been an hour since the market opened. We're sitting pretty nicely in this $17 range. We're not like, it's not collapsing to 16 yet. It's nice to see that make it that next leg upward here. $7.90 cost basis on Palantir, 700 shares. Amazing. I'm at a 250 cost base. Oh, that'd be crazy. Yes, piano performance, work and finance though, but all my videos on YouTube are piano stuff life, SMH life. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to check out your channel. I love meeting random new... Bro, I found this YouTube channel the other day that is relatively small, and I just started binging all their fucking videos, bro. I love smaller creators and like just getting to discover them. Like, that's the one thing about YouTube that I will stay on YouTube for hours over Netflix, because of just seeing new creators and like getting to see new people. It's always exciting to me. 733. I literally joined the stream to see what you are wearing. Last week you had a James Bond. The only reason I'm not wearing my coat pant is because I did the laundry yesterday, and so I have to put the laundry away. But yeah, that's the only reason. Bro, thanks for doing this Palantir dedicated channel. You're welcome, man. Thank you for being here. I still have a bunch of videos on Palantir coming out later today. All right, so we're at Palantir at 1774, Sofi at 959, Tesla 288. So we'll see what happens. Palantir 775. We have earnings on Netflix and Tesla tomorrow, so I'll be live streaming the Tesla ones with Carlos on the Finance Junkie channel, and we will keep going from there. Do you see Twitter taking off in video and a video creator community? No, because I don't think Twitter is rooted in long-form video like YouTube is, but Do they have the shot to build a YouTube competitor within the app? Yes. I think it's very hard to do. Remember the server costs. Google pays a fuck ton of money in server costs for videos. That's a cost I don't think Twitter can afford yet in terms of really long form video. So I don't think they want to incentivize it either. But they have to build a legitimate like clone in the app, because I'm not scrolling through tweets and then I see a thumbnail and I click on it. That's just not the user behavior I have on Twitter. It is the behavior on YouTube, not on Twitter. So I think they have to do something a little bit different to be able to get there. Amit doesn't wear pants during these streams. You are wrong. Okay. I wear shorts. So that's how I show you guys. You guys actually want to see my room? This is that. Oh, I forgot the mic is here. You guys see it? Hold on. No, you guys don't see it. Okay, hold on. Let me adjust the mic here. Let me put the camera here. This is what you guys get to see for being on this day. Boom. This is the outfit. This is what we're doing. This is how we're working out. I gotta have the shorts on, bro. It's hard to like wear pants in the morning, especially when it's fucking 90 degrees in Jersey. It's hard to do it like that. Are they short shorts? No, but I make them short shorts because I like pull them up. I don't know why. It feels better doing it that way. Amit, listening to your live show while at the work from Bay Area. Redford, what do you do for work? I'm always curious what people say, but thank you for listening. It means a lot to me. Thank you for being here. Do you wear that all day or just for the YouTube life? Yo, bro, to be honest, bro, you're going to laugh at me. As soon as I'm done with the market open, are we about to get a thunderstorm? The fuck? Why is it? You guys probably didn't hear that, but that was massive. I walk downstairs and I'm wearing my shirt. Like I walk downstairs every day with a fresh shirt and some shorts, and my mom just looks at me. You know what my mom said yesterday, bro? My mom was like, I had a dream that when I have this dream my whole life that when you get older, you'll wake up in the morning, you'll get your briefcase, you'll wear your suit, and you're getting ready to go to New York City to go to your corporate job. Now you come downstairs after having talked to 500 people and ringing some cowbell. You're wearing some fancy shirt with shorts and slippers. And I'm just looking at you like, what is my son doing? It was the most hilarious conversation ever, bro. She was like, it was so funny. She was just like, I thought you were going to be this corporate dude that goes into work every morning and you come downstairs wearing a fucking shirt with shorts saying, oh yeah, we had 520 people in the live stream today. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's so funny. Amit, show your alarm clock. I want to see if this was set for now. I use my phone as my alarm clock, so it's okay. So since you guys are here, since this is a special stream, you guys are gonna see my room today because I woke up late today. So I'm gonna stay here with the mic. I gotta take off this thing. Okay, so zoom out. This is where. Okay, let's just do it like this. Is what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna end the stream today. Okay. So here we go. We got the bed that's not made. You guys have seen that before, though. We got the bed that's not made. So we got that. Okay. Then we have that mirror. I don't really look at myself that much in the mirror because I already know I'm really attractive, so I don't need to waste time doing that. So we have the mirror there. We have a whiteboard. We have that. Then we have water. Then we have this big ass light. Then we have that closet that I am out of the closet. So then we have a vacuum. Then we have this black board that I put up a while ago because I was doing something on the blackboard. And then we have the bricks. These are real bricks, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see where the bricks start and end, they are absolutely real. And so this is what the bricks look like. You can see the starting and ending. We had those professionally installed about 2 years ago. So they're officially in. And then, yeah, that's it. And then it's me. And so, yeah, that's it. They're not fake bricks, bro. You guys they're real bricks. They're real. Daisy Dukes. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, and then on my desk, there's nothing that interesting. There's the Palantir sign, 0 to 1. This Charles Bukowski quote. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this quote to the end. If you guys haven't read this quote, I'm going to read this quote. Got my phone. Got notebook, which I do a bunch of stuff in terms of like writing shit down, ideas. We have this iPad I bought 7 years ago. Yeah, it's not charged anymore. I thought I would use this. I don't use this anymore, but it's just stuck here. My wallet, Palantir sign. We got this thing for the Audia sign. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kelly on this one. We have a butter knife. It's a really typical 25-year-old guy room. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. We got a Rubik's Cube down there. We got some mics. We got the bull. We got the bear. And that's pretty much it. That's my room. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too wild. That's just how my room is. And that's pretty much it. This is when I wake up every morning, and then I get to work. I go into work every morning looking like this. Do you do lines of Coke off that Palantir plaque? No. Oh, let me tell you guys something. Okay, so for the people that are here, literally only ever use my iPad. Erwin, what's up, bro? I only ever use my iPad for math homework. Yeah, I just like never use that iPad anymore, ever. All right, so let me let you guys in on something. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Actually, we're going to read the Bukowski quote, and then it's the last thing to say. So one of the reasons I was in New York yesterday was because I was at the Palantir offices in New York City. No, I did not get invited by them. They did not invite me into the office, none of that. But so I have a friend. I'm not going to say his name out of privacy for him. But we've been connecting over the past couple months, just talking, because he works at Palantir. He's a forward deployed engineer. And he was like, yo, do you want to come get dinner at the office? And I was like, yes, I do. That would be really cool. And so we get to the office, and bro, so I've never worked at a tech company before. I'm trying to build my own tech company, but it was one of the most unique areas that I've ever seen. Obviously, they had all the free food and like the free snacks and the free Red Bulls and like typical Silicon Valley tech stuff. But the people, so he showed me two floors. He showed me the business development floor and then the software development floor. And in the software development floor, these people were fucking like intense coding. Like they were just like, it was silence. They were just like they were in their shit, bro. And I was like, damn, you're going to make me rich. You're going to make me rich. You're going to make me rich. You're going to keep working. You're going to make me rich. I didn't say this, obviously, but like, it was so cool just seeing them do all that stuff, right? It was so awesome. They were all just working. Okay. So that was the first floor. Then the business development floor was totally different. The vibes were different because it's like business development, right? You're talking to clients, you're trying to get deals done, you're trying to send emails. You're not like that intense in terms of the coding. And it was really cool just seeing all these people. And one of the funny thing is I got recognized by a couple of the workers. Like some of the people that like work in some senior level stuff when it comes to the financial stuff and the writing of different legal stuff with like communication. They like came up to me. They approached me like, hey, are you Amit? And I was like, yeah. And by the way, this is the first time I ever got recognized ever in my life. Like I've never gotten recognized in public. And so it was kind of cool because they were actually fans of the content and they really appreciated it. And I was like, yo, thank you guys for doing awesome stuff. I'm just an outsider getting to analyze this company. You guys are inside of it, really, doing the hard work. And it was really cool. So I spent like 3 hours there and we had dinner, and the guy I was talking to was super, super awesome, man. And one of the things he told me, one of the things I wanted to know is like, why do you work at Palantir? And he said he couldn't justify making 200,000 at Google and watching his friend play on the phone. He was just like, I need a vicious work culture where I am pushed to my fucking limit working hard. And those were the people that I thought would end up working at Palantir, right? Those were the types of people. And so it was really interesting to hear him say that, because he was like, yeah, the people here, bro, they don't take this shit like a joke. Like if you work at Palantir, like you're not playing Candy Crush on your phone, making 250,000. Like you're really fucking working. You're working your ass off. And so it was cool just to see a little bit of the culture and kind of goes 99%. No, not at all. Not at all. I saw a lot of girls there. There were a ton of girls there. They have a pretty good ratio in terms of gender. And most companies do, actually. Most companies have more women than men at their company. So there was a ton of girls there, but it was just, and also, security didn't care that, because you're allowed to, this is not like illegal or anything. You're allowed to bring in a guest. So he just had to sign me in. They took my ID, all that stuff. But it's just really cool to see the offices in New York where shit is going down. And it's like typical tech company, right? Everyone's kind of working, doing their thing, but just seeing the atmosphere, it was really interesting. It was really, really cool. And so it was exciting to kind of see what they were doing. But yeah, the fact that people actually like recognized me, I was like, that's insane, bro. Like, because 99% of people there, they don't go home and they're like, they work for Palantir, but they don't go on YouTube and like watch Palantir content, right? Like they, that's like, if you work at Google, you're not like going home and watching videos on Google and shit, right? Like it is what it is. But there are some people there that are so passionate about their job, and obviously they care about the fucking stock, that they'll like consume content around the company. And obviously we built this awesome community and all this stuff. But I didn't expect anyone to really know me. But the fact that some people knew me, it was kind of cool. Just seeing people there. It was super dope. You remember Professor Wasserman at Rutgers? Why do I remember this name, Alex? For some reason, Professor Wasserman, this is triggering me. Like, yes, I remember that name. Professor Wasserman. Bro, what? Alex, did we go to class together? Because if we did, what did Professor, was it economics? There was something. Yeah, I remember that name. It was like Disneyland for me. Bro, literally, it was like Disneyland for me. Because I was looking at because he's like, oh, there's legal, there's the forward deployed engineers, there's the communications guy. And I was like, I was looking at everyone like, oh, all of you motherfuckers are gonna make me rich. I was just like, wow, all of you guys are doing your shit. But it was really cool. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was so exciting. So, accounting professor. Professor Wasserman, bro. Why do no? Here's the thing. There were multiple accounting professors. I didn't have Wasserman. I had someone else. But I remember the name because there were multiple accounting professors. So, yeah, that's cool. Thanks for being on the stream, Alex. That's awesome. But yeah, it was really fun, bro. It was really cool seeing it. And so we had a really good conversation. The dude was super awesome, super humble, worked his ass off to get to this point in his life. And he's doing a lot of deeply technical things. So that's why, he was telling me, he's like, when people say there's all these competitors and all this stuff, he's like, he gave me one of those sighs. He's like, the things they're doing at Palantir is like legit. It's one of those things where it's real. So super exciting stuff. All right, guys, I'm out today. Thank you all for being here. This is awesome. Sorry for being late today in the morning. I was just really, really tired and I didn't want to not do a stream. So hopefully this made up for it. But yeah, when I woke up, I was just like, I couldn't even be mad at myself. I was like, man, I was so damn tired from yesterday. So that's pretty much it. We got a couple more videos coming out on Palantir today. I was in a new Fast Company article. I'm going to be analyzing that article as well and talking about the mixed reception that article got. Talking about Palantir's new PR today. Also talking about some stuff with Alex Karp saying about Russia, Ukraine. Also reviewing the new shareholder questions on Robinhood that shareholders can ask through their app. And some of those questions kind of suck. Some of those questions are okay. So we're going to discuss what questions matter. A bunch of videos coming out. We'll have daily Palantir, I believe, today at 9 p.m. Maybe we should probably have daily Palantir at 9 p.m. If not, then we might not be able to do this today, but we should have the stream. And then Finance Junkies back at 10 p.m. We had 700 people join Finance Junkies last night. So that was awesome. So hopefully we get some people coming back and we keep going from there. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe. It means the world. Oh, I didn't read the thingy. Yeah, let me read the thingy. And please follow on Twitter. Okay, so this is a quote for anyone that I think they can relate to, okay? This is one of those quotes. It's from Charles Bukowski. It's called Go All the Way. This is for anyone to relate to. All right, here we go. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, and maybe even your mind. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision. It can mean mockery or isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods and the nights will flame with fire. You will ride life straight to the perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is. Have a good one, everybody. See you later tonight.